Now, there's a real good chance that you can't get there. I'm not gonna lie. But there are things in what The Rock did to get into his Black Adam physique, his biggest physique potentially ever, that you can apply to your own journey and your own transformation. Let's get the stats out the way first so we can all freak out and tell ourselves that this is absolutely unachievable. It kind of is, because some people are doing it, some people do it. I mean, the guy did it. Yes, guys, we know. So there are things that are achievable, and there are ways that people do that. But can we, as a natural lifter, as people who just enjoy going to the gym, can aspire to? Potentially not. The guy has like massive legs, crazy chest, arms, shoulders, is constantly lean all year round. That tells something. For the Black Adam movie specifically, he got to 277 pounds, which in my head doesn't make sense. 277 pounds at 6'5". So just for reference, I'm 5'11", and I'm at 180 pounds, basically, give or take a pound or two, depending on if I had a big meal. His BMI is 32. That means he's obese. So basically, it's the ratio from his weight to its height, right? Pretty simple. So he would be classified as obese. I am classified as overweight. Yeah, I know. And just to play with it, I decided to look at how heavy should I be to get to a 32 BMI if I wanted to be in the same ratio, in the same physique ratio that he got. Pretty simple. So my weight should be 230 pounds. Mind you, I'm 5'11", 180. That means it is 50 pounds of pure muscle over what I am currently at. Can I get there? No. Can I do anything that gets me close to that? No. But there are ways that I can get a pound or two, and there are ways that you can get a pound or two based on what he actually did. And this is what we are looking at. What he did and how you can apply that for you in your workout and your journey to get somewhere. Close to that? No, but somewhere. I have my own calorie and macro calculator. You can get that. It's in the description below. So we are going to see how many calories he needed, and then I'll tell you how many he was eating. So basically, he's a dude. He was 50 years old basically when he did that role, and as discussed, he's 6'5" and weighed, when he started, well, he didn't weigh 275, directly. So we're gonna go with 260 because it says that he weighs between 255 and 265. So we're just gonna go in between. So 260, and he was very active. We need to make sure that he needs to gain a muscle, right? Pretty simple. So gain muscle, boom. That says 4,600 calories. So basically that tells us in order for him to gain a pound a week, any pound, most likely, we try to have it being muscle, but there are fat cells, and we'll get into that. So in order to get a pound a week, that's the amount of calories as being very active that he would have needed. There are things obviously that you need to account for that can change that value. So once you find the value and once you've tried it for a week or two, you just verify and you'll look. Am I gaining too fast? Am I not gaining at all? What's the way that I'm actually really gaining? And then you adjust from that. So for example, if he needed 4,600 calories a day in order to get a pound a week, and then after a week, you only got 0.5 pounds. It means that he is still too low in his calorie intake. He needs 250 more every single day. So basically 50 calories every day. And then that will get him to that pound every single week. But he had, according to what he said, 8,000 calories a day. I'll let you sit with that. It is very hard and it is a crazy job to eat 4,000 plus calories a day. Getting 8,000 is not possible. So this is where I'm letting you know, don't do that. You're gonna get fat, dude. It's just what it is. He didn't, but was he really eating that 8,000? Who knows? Is the things, the serum, have him needed that 8,000 potentially? But don't do that, because obviously with what we know, 8,000 calories every single day, he did this transformation over 18 months. So there's no way you can eat 8,000 calories every single day. That would lead him to gain 1 pound every day plus a pound a week. So that means 8 pounds every single week. Mind you, he got from 260-ish to 277. It means that in 2 weeks, he would have done that. So that's probably not what happened. And then if you do that in 2 weeks, you just got fat. But let's say that it was the process. How can you apply that to you? Calorie surplus, pretty simple. This is what you want. You need to make sure that you are in a surplus of calories if you want to build muscle. It is what it is. I'm sorry, pick your battle. If you want, you don't have to, but it's very hard on your brain and on your motivation to slowly gain muscle and losing fat, which is recomposition. It is doable, but it's very, very hard because nothing really moves. It's hard to see in the mirror. And then a year later, you gained 2-3 pounds. You're happy about that, you look better, but that year was probably very draining on your mind. So the two ways I go about it personally, and I've done that over and over, is by increasing drastically the amount of calories I have, and then I gain weight. I don't really care what I gain for weight. I just gain it. You know, just go for it. So you gain those superheroes pounds, and then once you're at your target, you know, and throughout that, obviously you work out and you work out appropriately. We'll talk about that. But once you get to that target, now you maintain that target and you push and you push and you push and you push and you push, and then you're going to lean down. That is how you would go about that. You did not have to do it that way. Doesn't really matter. Your process is slightly different because your BMI should not be 32. If it's 32 and you're looking like that, congratulations. So forget that 8,000 calories. This is not for us, but you're gonna go in a calorie surplus. Obviously, volume is potentially the most important thing in his workout and what he did. There was a lot of volume. So this is also why the calorie could have been at 8,000 a day. Because if you do 2-3 workouts every single day, you're not just very active, but you're like excessively active, and you might need a lot more calories. But just doing that would be a full-time job. So he's paid for it. We're not. So that volume for him, what it looked like in most days, many days, is cardio fasted in the morning, and then he had a workout, and then he had some more cardio, and then he had a second workout. So it's very much a bodybuilder approach of doing things, split chest, triceps, back and biceps, you know, shoulders, and then legs, that you can split that any ways you want. The way we are looking at it, the way you want to build that is over that 7 days, you want to make sure that you see the body part twice. So your chest, you've had it twice, your back, you've had it twice, and all of that. You don't need to have it twice in a full-on workout, but you've activated the muscle more than once throughout the week. For example, I train 6 times a week. I have 3 different days: chest and triceps, back and biceps, legs and shoulders. And I repeat that twice. So I see everything 2 times. You want a Black Adam body. I get it. So you need to stay lean. In order to stay lean, you cannot only count on the strength workout. The strength workout is pretty simple. It's there to build muscle. Let's stop thinking that we're getting crazy lean by lifting and doing a bench press. It's not why it's there. That part is made for muscle building. So whenever you're going to your workout, he was mainly in 8 to 12 rep ranges. You can stay in those rep ranges where you want to build size. So This is why the gym exists, building the size. Everything else happens outside of it. So you need to make sure that you hit your 10,000 steps a day. Oh my God, but it's so long. I don't know, guys, buy something, you know, those little walking pad. Doesn't matter how you do it, but 10,000 steps is not that crazy. You probably have time during your day or your, you know, work days, lunch, whatever. Use that time in order to walk, but you need to hit those steps because you need to stay as lean as possible as you're going through the process. Also helps with moving the blood in the body and the recovery and making sure that you can hit those muscle group more than once a week. Because if you're tired, if you're sore, if you're hurt, you're not going to be able to do that, and you need to keep the body moving in order for everything to be, you know, well functioning, and that means also walking. So cardio doesn't have to be running on a treadmill. It's probably not what you want, because if you start doing that, you're going to burn more calories. If you burn more calories through that, you'll have to eat them, and eating those calories is kind of hard. But those 10,000 steps are a non-negotiable. We're adult here, guys. Just get a grip, you know, workout, walk. Not that crazy. The time frame. As I said before, he did that in 18 months. I mean, he was already very fit. He was already very big. He knew how to work out. He had the dedication to it. He had every help whatsoever in order to get there. And he had the motivation of the movie and the superhero look he wanted in order to achieve that. So this is first step. You need to have that motivation. You need to find what you want. You need to find the why, and you need to find the vision in order to go for it and not stop, and hopefully with the motivation of that get you there. Depending on where you start, I'm again 180 pounds. I should go to 230 based on that physique, based on that body. It's going to take me a lot of juice, or many years. I don't have that. So if I personally would want to go to 180 pounds, for example, which is 10 pounds over what I do, I could potentially get there in that 2-year mark. Maybe it would be a challenge, but still it is hopefully available. So make sure that your time frame is right. Make sure that your process is right. There are many things that you can do in 2-3 months. There's a big base of everything that you can build over that 2-3 months in order for you to have that foundation and to have that, you know, go basically in your process. There's a tighten workout that is pretty much what, you know, a Black Adam workout would look like. So you can try that if you like. There's a free week. You know, it's free. Just try it. So you have that, but then those are the foundation of how you can achieve a Black Adam physique. So the calories, the workouts, the dedication, and everything else around it. Hopefully you learned a thing or two, and I'll see you guys soon.